Good morning, welcome to Vlogmas day number 17. Looks like my early Christmas wish was granted. They must have heard me talking mess because they were up busy. I guess she almost got caught. But looks like they started, she must have done this half. She must have done, well, and the deer and the pup helped up here. I mean, I get it, it's higher up, so they didn't want to fall, but it looks like Sparkly Rose was busy putting these ornaments on. And all the way down to fixing the one from the pup because Coco made sure to snatch it yesterday. Coco was on a rampage yesterday, I feel. She's the one who messed up the wolf, hence why the wolf is not part of the pack right now. So this is the A for Angel. This is for Janessa. This is for Vincent. This is for little Rudy. You're probably wondering what's the A and the O. This is for my son Anthony and his fiance Olivia. This is for mine, and this is for the hubby, Rudy Sr. So, yay. All right, it's already into the 9 o'clock hour. I'm gonna go ahead and get my day going and actually make it to the gym. Good morning. Okay, so I know that I was showing off the elf just a little bit ago, and it's already a whole hour later. I was in my room, finally putting away my crystals, making my bed, getting myself together so I can at least look decent before I head out the door. And it's already going on, it's about to be the 11 o'clock hour, and I know my kids haven't ate. 2 of them are still asleep, and then my 17-year-old's up already. My husband, he's not home. He went to do a quick side job for anybody who's curious. What does he do on the side? He details his friends' cars that need detailing on their cars. Like, he was a detailer back in the day, and so it's like his little side hustle. And during the holidays, of course, any extra is welcome. And he was like, I have a couple people that hit me up, so I'm gonna go do it. And I'm like, all right, cool. So he's been out early this morning, and like I said, I don't want to leave my kids without at least having something to be able to munch on. I mean, they're self-sufficient, right? They can figure it out, but you know, kids prefer when it's not made by, like, they prefer that their parent cook for them, right? So making them the easiest thing that you could think of, which is chorizo, like, so delicious, so simple and so easy. And I asked him if he wanted to go to the gym, my 17-year-old, but he was like, no, I'm cool. Like, he's never been, and he's not on my plan, but I have so many racked up rewards points from being a long-time customer that I could get him in free, I think for like either a week or like 30 days or something like that. And we've never used any of those points, and I figured why not. But yeah, so he said no, and nothing wrong with that. So if you're hearing that little music in the background on a piano, I'm not sure if it's catching on the phone here, that's him. It's crazy how fast time flies when you're, I mean, I guess when I'm working, the day goes pretty quick, but especially when you're off, like, it just flies. So what I do need to do is get my pre-workout ready to go. Take a sip on that. Go and do this workout. That's the thing. I already know by the time I'm done working out, it's already going to be in the 1 o'clock hour. It's crazy how fast the day will go after that. But I did take out some food for later. I took out some steak that we had in there, so I could do a couple of things. I can either make it with some papas. I can make it into like fajitas, which we kind of already ate that yesterday, the taquitos. I'm thinking about making some beans, and we can have like steak with papitas and maybe some fresh frijoles de la olla. That sounds really good. And hey, maybe I'll make it out there sometime tomorrow. I really want to hit, there's a store here called La Superior, and they make, you can order tamales to go. And I know you're probably thinking, well, doesn't your family make them? Well, my family does make them, except for we don't really go over there for the holidays anymore. So that'd be a little awkward to just pull up like, hey, can I get some tamales? So yes and no. And then my father-in-law makes them. But same, like I don't expect him to make a bunch for me to just have left over, if you know what I mean. So plus they make the kind, not everybody makes them, but the Superior makes the ones with the jalapenos, las rajas, and the queso y de rajas, so like jalapenos and cheese. And not everybody makes those. Like I've never had, I know you're probably like, what kind of Mexican are you? I've never had that until I had it like at a store once, and it was like the best thing ever. So my own family doesn't make those. And they may now, but back when I was growing up, they would always have like the, what was it? The red ones, the green ones, and then they would even make the sweet ones like for desserts. So I don't know if everybody makes those ones, but I know my family did. And a lot of times when I ask people like, oh, have you ever had like the pink, like the sweet ones with raisins? They're like, no. So I think it might be, it might differ by, you know, what part of Mexico your family's from. But yeah, I mean, everybody makes their stuff differently, and all I know is that a tamal is always delicious, especially like the way my parents make it. They make it where they warm up the tamal, but then they fry it a little bit, like on the frying pan, and then it's like carbs on carbs on carbs, y'all. This is exactly why I'm giving myself grace for the holiday season. But then they put it in between a bolillo or like toasted bread. Oh my God, to die for. And then con un cafecito or like hot chocolate. My mouth's watering already. This is why I need to go work out, so that way I can earn my calories. So let me go ahead and get my pre-workout going. So it calls for 2 scoops, but I'm gonna go ahead and put 3 just because it's early in the day. 2 scoops is the normal, 4 for moderate, and 6 for an intense. We're gonna go ahead and do, we'll do 3. But that also means that I'm gonna have to have a little taquito de chorizo, because these are like a lot of vitamins at once, and I don't want to feel sick because I haven't really ate. It needs carbs to burn, so nothing wrong with that. Had to go off camera for a little bit, and for those of you who know me that I have a camera to film, but I barely use it because it's so much easier for me to film on my phone. Plus, when it comes to editing, I can simply just upload. Oh, I got my pre-workout on me, but I could simply just airdrop. Versus my camera, I have to find the attachment that I still haven't found, which means I have to go purchase and do the whole thing. Hence why my Hawaii video is still delayed. And I know it's in my house somewhere, and I'm sure it's in my room somewhere, and I probably just need to do a deep clean. But long story short, I had to go off camera because I'm chatting about Girl Scout stuff. So I had to respond and yada yada. So what I'm doing right now is cleaning the beans so that I can make beans. My husband will likely want to eat out because I almost forgot, but I realized we're gonna have to swing to the other side of town later. So for any of you who know, Tiffany's was like the thing. The charm bracelet was like the thing, you know, a few years back. And I was one that finally got a hold of one and did the charms and all that. And then I had the little earrings, which I still use the earrings because I love studded type earrings, obviously. But a few weeks back, my husband had to run out to the Roseville Galleria. For any of you who aren't familiar with our area, Roseville is like, without traffic, an easy 45 minutes away. But the downside is that's the only Tiffany's nearby. So he had to run out there because my son wanted him to go with him to do some shopping. And this was at the beginning of the holiday season, so about a week and a half ago. Well, my husband didn't tell me, but he took my old charm bracelet that I had dug up in my many boxes that I was cleaning through a few weeks back. And it looks all cloudy and everything because it's that sterling silver. You know, after a while, it kind of looks ugly. And I hadn't gotten them clean since. And so he decided he would take them with him. And I had no clue until he told me. And so he was telling me yesterday we have to go out there to pick it up. So I already know if we go out on that side of town, he's probably not going to want to have to come all the way home and make dinner because it's going to be later in the day. But I figured even if I make the beans today, I can always cool them off and we can have them tomorrow. Same with the meat. I have it, I have it thawing, but worst case is once it gets, you know, soft enough, then I'll just put it like back in the fridge and it'll finish thawing for tomorrow. So we're not going to waste food. But it's funny because I wanted to mention that so that later when I get it back, when we go pick it up, I'll show you all the little charms that I had. But yeah, this vlog is going to be probably a little bit longer since it is the weekend. And it's already almost 11:30. Like, how? Let me get my crock pot. I cleaned them out, took any little stones or rocks. Luckily, these beans lately have been pretty good. So I don't know if the companies, wherever the beans come from, have changed their ways. But I remember growing up and always finding a bunch of stones. But as I've gotten older, either I'm not cleaning them right or there's not as many stones like there was way back in the day. So if you know, you know. What I'm doing now is filling up the crock pot. I already got the beans rinsed. You know what my mom would do too? She used to set her beans and just let them soak overnight. And then they would kind of like, in Spanish, she would say like, what did she call it? Like they would like sprout a little bit. I forget why she used to do that, but I don't do it because I usually think about it last minute. And this is all you're going to see because my crock pot is jank to the 9, but it still works. What's up, man? My dog decided to join us. If you hear her. And I was thinking out to myself, shout out to my comadre, Alicia. You know who you are. She was telling me that she's been watching my Vlogmases and she prefers the longer ones, which I'm surprised because a lot of people tend to like tune out and they never finish your vlog. So I've been playing with each, but I get it. It's like when you feel like you know someone, aka my favorite artist, or you feel like you just enjoy their vibe, or like in my case, she knows me. So like for someone like me that usually am running around busy with life, I could see where my loved ones would be interested to find out what she's up to, aka what I'm up to. So now, for those of you who do know me personally, you can see where it's like I struggle with this feeling of wanting to live life and just chill, but always having something to do. So it's hard to really disconnect and just have fun because I always have some kind of responsibility. I mean, we all do, right? But yeah. You saw I put some salt in the beans. And the salt, it kind of, you can add more throughout the day just because depending on how many beans and how salty you want it. That's the nice thing with beans is that you can add or, you know, you know, you can add more or less depending, because I know, you know, for some, they just can't eat that much salt. And you can always just make them, and then whoever's interested, they can add their own. Or you can always add toppings, like after they're done. I love eating fresh beans with sour cream. As you noticed yesterday's vlog, I had sour cream up in that soup, in that bowl. But you could do sour cream with a little bit of queso fresco, which reminds me I need to buy some. And you can't go wrong. So even if you don't have a lot of salt and they don't come out, girl, and they don't come out, you know, as salty as you wanted them, you can always zhuzh it up. I also like to add some onion. You saw just now I added a little bit of minced garlic. You can add a whole clove or minced garlic. This is just the way I make them. This is how I grew up having them. But my babysitter growing up, y'all, oh my gosh, shout out to Lita. She used to make the best. And I think they're called frijoles. Oh my gosh, what are they called? I think they're called frijoles. No, not sucios. It's like messy beans or something. I forget what the word was. Put it in the comment section down below if you know what I'm talking about. But she used to put bacon. I mean, it was so freaking good. Like, she had me like on cloud 9 every time she made beans. And it would, like, the smell would radiate, but in a good way, through the whole freaking house. Like, I already knew it was about to be a good day when she would make those. And then you can always add bay leaves. Bay leaves tend to be very potent in their scent. So just all depends on how well you want it to be, you know, how much of a flavor you want. So you can add, remove, whatever, not include it. I don't know how this turned into a bean making tutorial, but somehow I did. Let me show you what it looks like, and you can see my little, look at her. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to put this in the crock pot and then put them on low for about 6 hours, you know, 4 to 6 hours. You just kind of got to keep an eye on them as you go along. Do you have to go outside? By now you're probably wondering, how janky is your crock pot, Jenny? This is how janky. It's not bad. It's just the handle, like the handle kind of broke. Look at this, broken. My name from all the crock pots, or all the crock pots, all the potlucks I've taken it to, just the normal, just little wear and tear. Like, this crock pot has gone traveling with me, work a couple times, but she's still hanging out. I think I got this crock pot for a wedding. We got married in 07. Like, the big wedding was in 07. And shout out to my toaster oven over there too, because she's been kicking it that long as well. So there you go. So no shade. This is a real life channel. Like, not saying anybody else is with the pretty pots and pans isn't, but your girl over here is balling on a budget. So we're not gonna buy a new one unless it's absolutely necessary. And just don't judge me for it. Let me do me. So there you go. But she still programs. Look at that. You got her on low for 6 hours. But you know what? If you want to buy a girl a new, nice, pretty crock pot, you can feel free. Go ahead. It has to be big enough, obviously. And just don't judge me if I don't use yours right away, because this one has a special place. Now, finally almost done. After all that, another random thing. Here are my nails. Knock on wood, they're hanging on. And I've been doing dip. It's been about a little over a week now, about a week and a half in. Trying to keep them for the holidays, you know, even into New Year's. But does anyone ever notice it's right at that point when you're really trying to take care of can't even talk now. When you're trying to take good care of them, that ish just starts happening. You keep bumping them here, smacking them there. You're getting your finger caught in something, and they're not even long. Like, my other ones right before these were super longer. But like yesterday, and I feel like this time around, she didn't make them as thick, which is Not a bad thing because it makes it lighter on your fingers. But yesterday I was putting away my clothes, and because I have to go through and organize the whole thing, right as I went to take my, hand out to close it, it got stuck. And I was like, oh, like it didn't pinch hard because there was a piece of like clothing, like kind of stopping it on the other end. It's in my closet, so, but, I took it out like, oh my God, I was afraid to look at it because it's not the first time my middle finger, for some reason, if you notice, this one's shorter than all the others. She asked if I wanted to put a tip. I just told her not to worry about it. But this one, for whatever reason, it's like cursed. The last time I had 2 manicures ago, I was at the gym and the bar landed on top. Like when I went to put it down, it just like snapped it, and it hurt for like 2 days. But it was broken. The nail underneath was broken, and the gel or whatever, the dip, managed to save my original nail. So then the next time she did my nails, the brown ones, the brown set that like this color, she ended up putting a tip so that way it could continue to allow my undernail to grow. And then that one, finally like broke off like once it got long enough. And this time around, I told her not to, just to leave it. But I'm like, does anyone out there know how I feel? Like, I'm trying to do my best to really save my nails. And gosh. Okay, that's enough about that. Let me get to the still en route, but at least I'm in the car and on my way. I was thinking to myself earlier, oh my goodness, there was something that I was going to shout my BFF out on the vlog about, and then I couldn't think of what it was. And I thought it was about the nails. So talking about the nails, I thought that would jog my memory, and I'm like, no, that wasn't it. And I finally remembered what it was. And what it was is that last night I was trying so hard to post my vlog by last night so that it was already there this morning, and I kept falling asleep. It's funny because the entire video was already done. It was already edited. It was at the point where I was uploading the titles and my tags and all that stuff, like just to actually officially like publicize it on YouTube. And I could not think of what it was like that I was doing. I would fall asleep. And so finally I said to myself, turn it off, just go to sleep, because my channel isn't that big. It's not even monetized, so it's not going to matter if it's done tonight or done first thing in the morning. So go to sleep. So I gave myself that grace and I turned it off. But the reason why I wanted to shout out my BFF is that she will be shocked. This is how you know how tired I was. Typically, I can only fall asleep with the TV on. Like, that is like one of the things that helps me just kind of, like the other night, for example, the night before last, I turned on the Christmas Family Vacation. Don't judge me. I've never seen that movie from the beginning to the end. I've caught little clips here and there, but I've never watched the entire thing. And my husband is a huge fan, to the point where we even have blow-ups outside right now, shouting out that movie. So I've been determined, and that's on my watch list of things to watch this season. So I told myself, I know I'm not going to get through it, but I'm going to start watching it. I probably got through the first 10 minutes and zonked out. Because why? Because the TV helps me. It's like I'm focused, but then it helps me fall asleep. It's the weirdest thing. And the reason why I'm shouting out the BFF is because she knows me. And anytime we travel together and it involves staying the night in a hotel, she always asks me, are we going to sleep with the TV on tonight? Because we are complete opposites when it comes to that. So BFF, if you're watching, I'm sure you're laughing right about now. So, and typically she'll let me sleep with the TV on, because she does not sleep with the TV on at all. She has to have a pitch black, dark room. So she compromises with me and she says, all right, well, how long is it going to take for you to fall asleep? And usually I'll be talking and then she's like, and all of a sudden you just go quiet. So apparently I talk too much. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. But obviously, because my videos are always hella long and I'm just talking at you guys. But it's just, that's how you get to know me, right? I mean, to get to know me is to get to love me. Okay, anyway. So last night I turned everything off with the exception of my little tree. The light's still gleaming in my face, but I'm like, okay, I'm going to leave the tree on. But the TV, oh my gosh, you guys, I know. I'm annoyed even listening to all these little sounds. It's the stuff that I have hanging in my little window thing. But okay, let me finish this thought. So last night I turned everything off, even the TV. And when I tell you how tired I was that tired because the second I woke up this morning, I thought back and I don't remember anything other than turning it all off and laying down to go to bed. And why is the parking lot so crowded at the gym? I think something's going on next door. There's like this big like building, and they often have like parties or some kind of event. I got a decent parking, but it's hella far from the building. Look at the building's way over there. I don't know if you can tell. Way over there. Anyway, I'm here, and I'm gonna get off of here, but BFF, you should be so proud of me. I fell asleep without the TV on. That's a big thing. And how's this video already 5 minutes? This Vlogmas is going to be so long, and it's going to take me so long to get through it because I have to listen to myself talk for that long. I'll probably fall asleep before I finish editing tonight. Great. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm going to get up in here. Finished my workout. It's funny, I almost walked to the wrong car. This car looks just like mine except different tires. Whoops. I forgot I parked super far. Let me get over here. That was a good workout. I feel so much more relieved knowing that I took care of that. And when I get home, I'll take Minnie out for her little walk, and then get the rest of the day started so that hubby and I can run our errands, and then hopefully make it back in time so I can wrap. But what I do want to do before I do that, go get me, y'all already know, my cold brew. So I guess there was some kind of vendor fair happening next door, which is why the cars everywhere. I thought it was going to be the church that you just saw in the video. That church happens to be right next to the gym that I go to, and I thought that that's what it was going to be, but I think there's actually some kind of vendor fair. I'm really tempted, but I also don't have any cash on me, and I'm short on time, to be honest. So it's like I don't have anywhere to go. Like, I don't have a certain time, but I know that the day's just flying by. Does that make sense? But I know that there is going to be a little vendor fair downtown tomorrow, which I don't know that I'm going to be able to go. But it's at the same place where we did the Dia de los Muertos event. The Latino Center of Arts and Culture is hosting. But I also have gingerbread house making tomorrow with my son's future in-laws, and I kind of already committed to that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But for now, let me get back home. You guys, I'm so touched. Why, might you ask? I know that they see the name Jenny Grande Vanilla Cream Cold Brew. It's my go-to. But the girl said my name as I walked in. Now I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably like, yeah, right. Like, you were probably the only mobile order, and she just took a wild guess. But I wasn't. I wasn't the only one. Woo. Girl, a little turf today. I got used to seeing myself on camera with makeup. But she knew my name. Shout out to Jay. I think that's the thing. I always struggle because since their name tag has their name with like the chalk pen, it kind of, sometimes it's a little smeared, or she had it like, it looked like a J, but with the two little lines and then the curve. So I think it said J. And she was already off to help the next person. So I didn't want to be like, what's your name again? But I think it's Jay. So the next time I come in here, I'm going to try to pay attention without staring. But I think her name was Jay. Or maybe Jen, I'm not sure. But it was something with like 3 or 4 letters. And for sure looked like a J. So, shout out Jay, if that was what it was. But yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm so touched. But I also realize that's probably not a good thing. That means I come here a lot. But it's all good. Like, I try to be as budget friendly as I can without like seeing my eyes. But the cold brew is usually cheaper than all the other fancy drinks. The only reason I've even been getting the peppermint one so much right now is because it's the holidays and it's limited edition and it goes away. But my go-to normally, especially like once it's later in the day and I'm not cold, because obviously I just left the gym, it's still pretty chilly. I mean, it's 50 degrees out here. It's not that cold, but it's chilly, you know what I mean? Especially when you're like sweating and you go out to the cold. I don't want to risk getting sick. So I like took the shirt off and at least put my hoodie back on. But let me get home so I can take my dog on her walk. My husband's about to head over to the dentist right now, and then while he's off to the dentist, I'm gonna do my walk, shower. I'm still debating if I want to put anything on my face, just because I know we're gonna go like to the mall or whatever, and I'll see how I feel once I finish showering and how much time I have, because I know that he's gonna be going over to, like I said, the dentist, and then after that we can head out and do our things. We might y'all this vlog. We'll get through it. But I have time. I have time to talk today. My poor goddaughter. I'm also shouting everybody out. Have you noticed I shouted out my comadre in the morning? She's the godmother of my son. I shouted out my BFF. Hey BFF. Everybody that's like actually watches my vlogs, thank you very much. And then my goddaughter, I know from time to time, her mom be telling me that she'd be catching her watching me. So, hey, Raina. Anyway, I know she had messaged me yesterday. I feel kind of bad because she's like, can I come over? I've been wanting to come over. I'm kind of bored. And I feel like the most worst godmother because I've been so busy and I haven't had time to like pick her up and take her out. I think since like earlier this year for her birthday. I know, terrible, terrible. Don't judge me. But I told her not today just because it was going to be a boring day of running around. Plus we have to run to, the other side of town, all that. But I told her that post-Christmas, post the chaos, obviously, and obviously I work next week, but post-Christmas that I'll pick her up and then maybe we can like go watch a movie or go to lunch or whatever. So I'll see how that all works out. Or I might even reach out and just have her come over and she could play with my daughter. It's just that my daughter has practice and everything going on next week too. And that's what makes it hard, because now that she has a busy schedule, I would be like, well, now I got to drop Janessa off now. So now you don't got anybody to play or, spend time with. So I'll see. Maybe like Thursday or something. I don't think she has practice Thursday. And I know I don't got anything, I don't think, going on Thursday. I'll see. I just don't want to promise anything and overcommit. So, but again, I've talked too much. So let me get home. Remember how I said it was like 50 degrees out here? Well, Missy on the right here, Bella, she's in heat. If you can't tell, her little squishums. And she breaks out in like heat, literally, where she can't breathe. You can hear her breathing hard already. That's why I kind of let her go without the sweater. She's a little on the chunkier side too, huh, Bella? And no, we're not breeding her, for anyone who's curious. But Minnie over here, she's enjoying. But it feels wonderful out here. There's a little chill in the air. It's like perfect. Say hi, Bella. I'm surprised she's this eager to keep walking. Hi, Minnie. Casually walking along. Wait for it. Bam. The butt. Still there. Can we take a moment to appreciate the shoe cam? I've been wanting these since high school, since 1995 when they came out, 95 Air Maxes. And of course they've come out, but it's the red swoosh. My husband got them for me for my birthday this year, and I almost forgot I had them because I had them in the closet in their box still. So it's first time wearing them out. I haven't worn Nikes in a minute. I'll have to break them in a little bit. I'm so used to wearing Adidas. It only took me, what, 25 plus years and being a whole adult. And gifted, because, of course, they had to release again in order to get a hold of them. So we got to the mall. Say hi, Janessa. Can you take a picture? Oh, that is pretty cute. You can take a picture by the trees. Take a picture, Janessa. Casually trying to catch Janessa and the... All right. Hey everyone, so we got home from the mall and we had some Kiki's for dinner. I'll insert video here.
Mr. Chevy gives you an extra $2,000.
But right now what I'm getting ready to do is wrap some gifts. Finally. So I got my wrapping paper ready. I got scissors on the bed. I got my tape ready to go. We're going to make this happen. I know that it's still a little early. Well, it's not really early. It's 9 o'clock, but I haven't got to my 12 days of coffee, or in Janessa's case, hot chocolate. But when we do eventually tonight, I will make sure to pan video and get a quick glimpse of the flavor. But I'll likely not do much speaking just because this vlog has already gone really, really long. So if you're still watching, thank you very much. I appreciate you. But I'm going to go ahead and close it out because I really want to focus and get what I can done. I don't even know that I'll get to editing this vlog tonight because, again, I want to focus on what I got to get done. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get up off of here. Thank you again so much for watching. Have a wonderful evening and catch you on the flip side. Good night. Look at all this wrapping. Doesn't look like much, but it's a lot more than what it appears. Janessa made my thing. She thinks it was French vanilla. We don't know. Maybe tomorrow I'll update you.
It was vanilla something and I had milk chocolate.
Cheers. And good night. And look at all this wrapping, by the way.
Jen and Sean are his really good friends. Those are the two most important
Doesn't look
people
like
in
much.
his life.
So according to this, I've wrapped 21 gifts. Maybe about 20 because I messed up on one and had to redo it. So some over there, here, some underneath. I'm very proud of myself, and I still have some more to go. I have some stuff in this bag. I'll block out the stuff. Have some stuff over here in this little corner. But for the most part, almost there.